Welcome everyone to My Self-Reliance and our Tuesday night chat. We're so excited to have you all here. And tonight I have a very special topic to share with you all about our survival kits. And in our last conversations that we're having, I've often talked about what you should put in your survival kit. But tonight I'm really going to show you where to get it from. So this will be lots of fun as we go through this. So these are all items that I have road tested myself. Very happy how quickly they come. I sourced them in Australia, so I didn't have to source them overseas for the most part. And full disclosure, some of the products that you will see tonight I am affiliated with, and not all, but I hope that you can get some value out of tonight. And also I'm going to open up to you because you've probably road tested a few products that we would all like to hear about as well. So, okay. And I will ask you to mute if you are off mute, just so that everyone can hear really well. Okay, so number one is a backpack, because without the right bag, you are not going places in a hurry. And so this is really about your survival kit, your 72-hour kit. What do you put in it? What are those good things that you need? But most of all is what are you going to put it in? And so we're starting with the bag, because when I did 72 hours of going without running water and food, cooking food and also electricity with the family at home, we're doing a kind of road test at home. And one of the things we did was put on our backpacks and went hiking. And with a backpack that doesn't have the strap across the chest or the straps across the waist, you can't really go more than half an hour or an hour before you're feeling just completely exhausted. So having a good backpack that's going to carry everything, that's going to fit the size of your back is super important. Also, that's waterproof. And the best one that I found is from Mountain Warehouse. And they were really good value. So the two that you can see that are pictured, they're around about $80. And if you get them on a good day, you can also get an extra either 20 or 50% discount. I know that with Black Friday just recently, they had an extra discount going on. But these two were less than $80. Cheaper is in sometimes if you get them in a women's fit or in a different color that's maybe not as popular, it's cheaper that way. The blue one that you can see does have a zip off pouch, and so you can share the load or take less off your back if you wanted to do that. That's actually a 65 plus, a 20-liter backpack. And I have both of these bags, the red one and the blue one, in different colors, and I really love them both. I love that the bottom section is separated from the top section, so that you don't have to try and dig all the way down from the top to the bottom to get at what you need. It's zipped off at that cutoff point, and so you can access what's at the bottom. Very, very clever bags. And if you try to get something like that from Anaconda, the starting price would be like $160. So this is why I love the Mountain Warehouse, because it has such really good quality. And for me, it came quickly. I know for some people, maybe stocks are running low and then they have to come from overseas. So you want to try and get them early where then you don't have to fight the out of stock. So 72-hour kits, and thanks Michaela for just pointing out, not everyone knows what a 72-hour kit is. It really is to last you 3 days. The first 3 days is when the proverbial crap hits the fan. You need to be prepared, because it's those are the toughest times to really get on your feet. That's like the height of the emotions, and the contact points are the hardest. So if you can live out of your bag for 72 hours, that's, you got the highest chance of survival, right? And my challenge is to you all is that you build a bag like that we're talking about tonight, and that you try it out. Try it out for 2 days, overnight, stretch yourself, go for the 3 days and see what you don't have. And then that will be the thing that you definitely don't want to live without. Okay, also called a bug out bag. Yeah. Okay, keep those comments rolling. Love that. Okay, next thing is the water filters. Really super handy to have, because in a flood, you cannot drink the water that's around you. Even the water that's coming out of the tap can be toxic in flood conditions. So having a water filter and knowing how important it is water for sustaining life, you want something that is portable, easy to fit in your bug out bag. I like the Life Straw. I've tried that one, but I also like the Sawyer brand, because with it, it comes with little pouches. And if you can see the ends on the Sawyer, you can get these 2 for 75 or the 1 for 30. But the 2 for 75, they're actually smaller. And with the pouches that it comes with, you can actually fill up the water in the pouch or put it onto any kind of drink bottle. It'll screw into your drink bottle, and then you've got water that you can just keep sipping on. It also comes with an extra filter backwashing system syringe that you can keep it clean, so it's all very good. Okay, so there's a few options there from Survival Supplies Australia. These are all really good Aussie companies that you can go to, and they come super quickly as well. Okay, next one is food. Okay, funny thing about food, you can't go for very long without it. You want to be able to eat, but also have it taste good. That's really important. Now, Survival Supplies Australia do these pouches, and in a big bucket like this that you can see it's 120 serves of all different kinds of pasta, rice, chicken, beans, food that you can make up for dinners, lunches, breakfast, and you just add water. Why that's important is because if you're in a emergency situation, OPSEC, which is short for operational security, means that you might need to cook without a lot of aromas. Because if people smell aromas, they're going to go, well, there's food happening over there. That's where I want to be, because people aren't going to be as prepared as you. So they're going to seek out people who are cooking and come and raid your food. So it might be important that you can do just add water, or you might be, in a situation where you can't stop for very long to be able to cook, and just adding hot water to your meal and making it a delicious, nutritious meal, sustaining, is going to be super important. Now, also pictured, you can see the protein shake. I love this kit. There's a kit that you can get that has a protein shake. It's all vegan blend, which is super important when you're thinking about a protein meal, because when it's a vegan protein meal, it means it's not going to draw blood from the extremities to digest it. And because what happens when you eat a steak, you feel tired and you need to rest. But when you're eating high dense protein vegan food, you're going to have more energy to, if you had to do a workout, you could do a workout and you're not going to feel sick, right? Or we say a workout, but maybe you're for necessity running, who knows. In this kit also comes a herbal detox tea, which is so good because if you are suffering from any digestive issues, maybe you've drunk bad water and now you've got a tummy bug, then the herbal detox tea in this will really cleanse your gut. And then also in this pack comes a probiotic prebiotic, which is really beneficial to your immune system, staying well. Whatever you feed your gut, your brain has to responds likewise. And so, you want you to be sending the right messages to your brain, right? So we don't want to eat artificial and chemical food because it's just going to mess up with our good thinking. So and then pictured on the right is a superfoods greens balance. Now these are fantastic because you want the greens. Maybe in a bug out situation, you're not going to be able to eat fresh fruit and some vegetables, but if you can get a greens powder like this that has 37 varieties of greens, yellows, blues, and reds, that's going to feed all systems of the body, then that's what you need to keep healthy and well. They do have an excellent shelf life, which is what we love, a long shelf life, and it's just add water. And on top of that, they taste really good too. So I just use these foods as part of my daily intake, and I haven't been sick in years and years. I haven't had the flu for 10 years. I cannot remember how long. And so that's just part of my daily routine. Okay. This brand that we're looking at is from Arbonne. It's a beautiful brand because it's not only is it good for your body, but it's also good for the planet. They're a B Corp, if anyone knows what a B Corporation is, and they have to tick off all the boxes to look after people, the planet, and all those good things. So I love that brand for that reason. Okay, so that's a little bit on food. If you are packing your 72-hour kit, it really is about packing food that doesn't take up a lot of space but is nutrient dense. Oh, sorry. Yes, I will let hubby in. How can I see that? There it is. And yeah, so nutrient dense and doesn't take up a lot of space. So there's a lot of food that that people love, but it's like a packet that's full of air is going to take up a lot of space, and you don't have the luxury of space in a 72-hour kit. So, all right. Next one. Okay, clothing. Super important is your clothing, and that really takes up most of the space out of your 72-hour kit, is making sure that you have protective clothing. Now, these two items that you can see are two items that I own and I love. And I love that they are they're waterproof, protective, they are warm, but very, very light. And that's essential. You want something that's very light and very versatile. Aside from protective jackets, you're going to need gloves. Super important. There's not, you need to have something that's going to protect your hands. And even if it's fingerless, because you need to use your fingers, great. Have different style of gloves, have variety, like not just one pair, because something happens to those one pair, they get wet, and if you're in a cold situation, you don't want to have freezing fingers, so have a backup pair of gloves. Gumboots are really fabulous in wet weather, as we experienced. Hiking boots, so a variety of footwear is fantastic. And beanies, hats with a brim are great. Multiple pairs of socks. Okay. Wool is probably better than cotton, And when you are packing, okay, this is important. I love to use a packing bag. Now you can get them, they have a zip, maybe a bit of mesh on the top so you can see, and you can pack your clothing into these bags very tightly. The more that you put into these bags, the more it squishes everything in and condenses. It's like one of those, sleeping bags that just you keep stuffing things into and it just keeps getting tighter. And they are fabulous because if you need to pull out your clothing to get at other things, you're not losing things all over the place. So those packing bags are great. If you go to Mountain Warehouse, they do have clothing that if it's the other color, it's going to be cheaper. So just, work with your budget, work with what you like and pick something that's going to be fabulous to suit you and the kids. I bought all of my kids' clothing through Mountain Warehouse as well. And especially the pants that have the zip around the knee that you can unzip and then have a pair of shorts. They are so good as well because they're quite waterproof. If you did have to walk through a river, then you could unzip and keep your pants dry and then zip them back up to put them on at the end of the day. The name of the bags to store the clothes, they are travel bags. I can show you. I don't have one right next to me, but I can put it in the link. Used to be like you could only buy them online, but now I've seen them sold locally and quite easily. So if you had an extra, I like this comment, thanks Mel, if you had extra boots, then use the laces to tie them onto your bag. Fantastic. Okay. So next one is the source of power. So with this one, I did find after the 3 days or it was actually like 2.5 that we spent, my battery pack that I had 2 of them for my phone and they didn't last the distance. And so after that, I went, wow, I really want one of those solar fold out wallets. Now it's very hard to find those in Australia. That are good because I've seen a few now that are sold for about $40. They last 1 or 2 times out in the sun. And then people have reported that they then now need to plug them into the wall to actually get them to charge up properly. Well, that defeats the purpose, I would think. You want them actually to be able to solar charge in the sun to have them work really well. This one from Wild Earth costs about $150. I can't give my review on it because I haven't actually tried it, but that's the one that I found that was kind of in Australia sourced. If anyone else has any reports on where you can get them from, or if you've tried any that you've liked. The other thing is that obviously having a torch is really handy, but having a headlamp is even more important. Why? Because when you're using a torch, when you're using it at nighttime, what do you do when you have a torch is you take up one hand. But if you have a headlamp, then you still got your 2 hands available. Now this headlamp, I had a look at it from Survival Supplies Australia and it's $109. And I think, why would it be $109 when you can just go to Bunnings and get one for about $10? Well, this one also has a red light on it so that if you were fishing at night, then the red light doesn't bother the fish. You can fish at night, you can still see, and it also has a solar operation so that it can solar charge your light as well. So you pay a little bit more, but it gives you more uses and variety with that. Okay. JCar is also another place that people have said that you can get solar set up. Another, if you're looking more into bigger solutions for solar, then a suggestion is to go to a solar supplier, or a solar installer is the word I'm looking for. A solar installer who has maybe some secondhand solar panels and that kind of thing. You can pick up some much more cheaply that way. You don't. You have to do a little bit of research into solar and also into converters for those things, but to really set up your home. And also, okay, so getting off a bit, because this doesn't go into your backpack, but generators and having that power. Generators are good on a short term, and so is portable gas solutions. I did have a look at a shower system that runs on solar, so you can have hot water through a shower, not pictured, but very good. And but have a look at your different solar options there. This little one from the little flint lighter, super important to have variety of ways that you can light a fire. You do want your matches, you do want those clickers that give you an instant flame, but when they run out, then having a flint like this never runs out. And so I can demonstrate that for you. That's my little flint. Okay. Tiny little things like this. They're not expensive at all. This one's less than $7, and you can create a flint. Okay, that bit comes off the bottom, and just by scraping that, you have to get practiced, but that's the action. You can create a fire. How good's that? So that takes up no space at all. Obviously, it's just such a tiny thing. Comes with a little ring on the end. Pop it on your backpack, and you will always be set for how to light a fire. Okay. I like Kathmandu. I find it's a bit commercial, so it has a bit more, it's a bit more expensive than some of the other ones that I've researched. But I certainly, that and Anaconda, if you can't find them anywhere else. Ally Express, it might come from further afar, but often it comes no problem at the moment. And yeah, we're getting our items from some of our items from Ally Express. Snowies.com, yep, they're really good as well. Okay. The next part of this conversation, I actually will begin, and hopefully Simon can join us, because he wants to actually demonstrate these to you, because this next part is all about the boys' toys. And I might just ask Irene, if you're listening in, maybe you can give Simon a quick call and say if he is available, he can come and talk about these, because these are all his toys that in the zombie apocalypse he doesn't want to be without. And I had to say that because that was the words that he would use. Okay, so first of all, there's the paracord. And so rope is essential if you want to create shelter, if you need it for any safety reasons. To have a rope, but is great, but to have a paracord is even better, because it actually splits and gives you several lines on the inside of the cord, which you can then turn into fishing line. So that's also very, very helpful and very inexpensive. So for $5 or at least under $10, you can get a paracord that does that. So that, I don't know if you can see that because I've got that funny background on. So notice how tiny those little strands get. Great fishing line there. So with that paracord, I was going to say as well a tarp, which I have not pictured, but a tarp with a D-ring. Now I do have a source for a tarp, for creating shelter, creating, a tent situation, or to create a kind of your surface to work off. Tarps are fantastic. So a D-ring will allow you to hook the rope through and tie it on more securely, and you can get them in all kinds of sizes, but less than $50 will get you a very good, very heavy duty tarp for shelter. Okay, the next thing is going up in is a portable shovel. All kinds of reasons you might want a portable shovel, but the fact that it can fold out to be very little, and then it's quite sturdy and strong. You might just need to dig your own latrine, or find water, all kinds of things that you could use a shovel for. And I love this one because it just folds up, puts in the little pouch, and you can carry it with your backpack. Okay. Next one is the fold out saw. We all love these fold out things. So this is a handy fold out saw that you might want to use for cutting down tree branches. And yeah, so it's a man's toy. You fellas are going to know what you're going to need a saw for, and you wouldn't want to be without dropping things. Okay, getting to the more important things on the items in the list is the hunting knife. So this is a full tang hunting knife. What makes it really special to any other knife is that the blade goes all the way through the handle. It's a thick blade, so that if you are needing to, I cannot imagine me doing this. I'm just hand it over to you fellas, but skin an animal, but it's the weight that you can put on one of these hunting knives, how you hold it, the thumb. And it also makes a really good flint because it's steel. You can make fire with it. Okay, this one's really well sharpened, and it's a bit of a pride and joy. Comes in a lovely pouch, but all men love their hunting knives with their pouch, and they stick on their belt. Full tangs are less likely to break. Thank you, Chris. Absolutely. And that's why you want one. And it also has that lovely grip. Yeah, you feel like a warrior when you're holding that, I'm telling you now. Okay. And then, of course, what I can't show you, but we did have to have as part of the kit is a bow, a full-size bow, that comes with the bow and arrow for shooting your own prey. Does take some skill to use, and they're very heavy, but it is the favorite way to find your own source of food in the wild. So I do have a few sources that I can share with you for where to get your own bow, and there is an expert who where we bought ours in Bathurst, and who will show you how to use it. He stood on the street through his shop door and hit an arrow through the back of the other arrow with so that's how good he is. He can teach you how to use a bow. Okay, so there's some of my essentials. Chris says a rifle. If you have a license or can get your hands on a rifle, that would be another way to do it as well. So I've just put this now in order of, sorry, I've just gone back a page instead of forward. Okay, so this forms your Christmas gift list. So gifts under $10. Let's go back. So your paracord, your magnesium flint steel lighter, gifts under $50, your folding shovel, a folding saw or a life straw. Gifts under $100, your backpack, a full tang carbon steel knife, your greens balance. Gifts under $200 would be your solar panels, your protein shake pack mix. I could go on. We can add to those lists, but there are a few ideas for you that with Christmas coming up, why buy random things when you can buy something that's going to save your family's life, and at least for the first 3 days, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you all tonight. I hope that has been maybe a bit enlightening, and I've loved the comments that have been coming through. And if you have anything to share, I'm going to open up the you can come off mute and you can share with us anything that you've thought of while I've been talking, and so I'm going to stop that share now. And yeah, so if you have any ideas that I have missed, please add them in now, and we can create a bigger, beautiful Christmas gift list, and we'll put that out, and anyone looking to add something to their stocking, there's a few ideas.
Yeah, I've got a couple things. So we've, especially I guess when you go with the children, a tarp probably won't cut it. So look for the ultralight sleeping bags or sleeping mats, or ultralight tents, because those are the hiking tents which are designed for low weight. That's a really good option. Obviously, they come with a price tag as soon as you go with ultralight, but it's definitely something worth looking into. A lot of the camping stores or hiking stores have them. You really just need to do a little bit of search around. The other thing I recommend, pack your bags once you've got the stuff and actually put it on. You'll be very quickly surprised how heavy your backpacks become, even with just the absolute basics in it. That said, with the children, if there's any hikers here, I don't know, but there's a thumb rule where you say no more than 10% of your weight should your backpack be, because just putting ours on and popping them on the kids, you'll really be surprised how heavy they are. Another thing I would probably add, a lot of the backpacks nowadays actually have a spot in the back where you can feed through the water tubes, so you can get the 1 or 2 liter bags with a long tube like you often see with the runners and things like that. Obviously, filling that up with a liter of water, it will add to the weight. However, if you fill that up before, you have at least water at the beginning until you need to filter it or use your straws or anything like that. And as such, they don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, some beautiful ideas there. Absolutely. If you have a metal bowl, that I have one with a lid on it. At the moment, it's got batteries and a little bit of first aid stuff in it, but because it's metal, it makes a really good bowl to eat out of, and it cleans up well. And maybe you might need to use it as a cup as well, and but it can be used for lots of things. Even a metal cup is also good, you know, for, you know, making your dinners and things in and soup or whatever. So a
One
solar
of the
radio. Yep, I'm reading the.
sorry, one of the first, I can't remember which one, what one of the first aid stores actually has these little wind up lights. So you can charge them via solar, but if you like running low, you just wind them up. And the radio that they have, you can actually use as a wind up for your phone, because you can charge your phone with them.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard of that one. Yeah. So wind up radios, charges phones. That's what Mel said as well. Great. Whistle. Yes, I always tie a
If you can get a
whistle.
small
Like
pot,
that. Sorry, Chris.
if you can get have a small metal pot to carry with you, just so you can, so if you come across water, you can actually boil it up and sanitize it and all that kind of stuff. Plus cooking meals, you can use it as a bowl and a drink cup as well. But I remember seeing a video on some military survivalist. He was talking about it's important to have something to sleep in, sleep under, and sleep on. So just getting a small sleeping bag, and you can actually get these. It's just a small bag, but it doesn't have anything in it. But it's got a zip on it. So what you can do is stuff leaves and all that kind of stuff in it to make your own sort of mattress to kind of sleep on. So it doesn't take up too much room. And the other suggestion was get a large poncho that's waterproof. And then when you're ready to retire or whatever, you can actually tie up the end that your head goes through and then use it like a tarp as well. So you're wearing it at the same time.
I love that idea. Yeah.
You can also get a thing called a bivvy, which is like it's like the sleeping bag, but there's no lining in it, but it's waterproof, so you can hop inside it, zip it up, and the only thing exposed is your face.
Yeah, because when you are in the wilderness and you want to be warm, it's the air that will keep you cold. So if you can shove those leaves in and fill up those spaces, that will insulate you. Survival Supplies Australia do a really good thermal blanket that is actually when you buy it, it's actually like this big. The thermal blanket just really sits like that tiny, and that when it folds out would be really good as a, you know, sleeping bag, because it's very, very warm. There's different kinds of thermal blankets that you can get, but this one doesn't tear. Some of the other cheaper ones that only take up this much space is essential. And I didn't put some of the smaller items that you would put in a 72-hour pack in this list, but we can fill out that list, so I'll add that to it. Mel suggested I was wearing PVC pants from Bunnings on the weekend in the pouring rain, and they cost me $2.50, and they were absolute lifesaver, because I didn't care, you know, how wet it was or what I walked in. With my gumboots and the PVC pants, I was staying dry. And they were brilliant. So let me read any other.
There's another one for you as well.
I've got just a sec.
Sorry.
Who's going next?
Oh wait.
So I was going to say that we've got a gift under $10 that you can buy with school. One of these bracelets. They have paracord. They have
Come to the microphone a bit closer. So it's a cord.
Yeah, so they have. It's a paracord. It's got a blade. You use also the blade for this. In the middle here is actually one of those flint magnesium rods that you can use for flint.
Yes.
And then it's also got a whistle and a compass.
Wow! Look at all that in one bracelet for $10.
They're like no less. So it's $7, $6.
Where did you
buy
get
them
it?
on eBay.
I love that. I haven't seen anything like that. That's amazing.
If you wanted to
we've
get
got
something,
3. So,
I love that everyone's put in the comments socks. 100%. You can't be happy if you've got wet socks or wet feet.
I know how you guys are saying about all your sort of canteen, sorry, the cups and stuff.
Yes.
I'll just show you that. This is like a full cooking thing, if you can see it.
Oh, good. What? Yes.
It's basically canteen. I'll just turn off that background maybe.
Okay. Then we
So you
can-
got your canteen, and then you've got like a cup in it that sits in, and then it's got another base on it, which also has a fire. So you can actually put a fire underneath it, and it comes so that I'll get it out for you. And it comes with knives and forks and stuff as well. So you got your canteen bottle,
Yeah.
and you've got that's your campfire.
Oh,
You
look
can
at
see
that.
that.
Yep.
So you put sticks under it, and then this makes a cup. It's a bit more expensive, but if you can
You're
see that, I
spacing
know-
out there. We see more space than you.
I know, it sucks. Trying to turn it off. So yeah, basically there's a cup that comes out, folds out as well.
They are
So
brilliant.
yeah, it's basically, and then it also comes with like a fire starter that'll actually burn for about 20 minutes as well. So you can actually cook on it, knife and fork and stuff.
Do you know
It's a
how
lot
much
less
they
space to
are?
take up. They're actually not that cheap, but they're about 189 bucks. But that gives you pretty much everything, and they take up a lot less room in your backpack because it can either go on your belt or around your neck.
I love that. It's a
Yeah, you
perfect
also can
Christmas
actually
gift.
you can hang them on the belt as well. So you really want to look at stuff that you can hang on the belt. Obviously, when you're wearing the backpack, that is not an option. Having stuff around the belt, because this is where, if you have a proper backpack, your hip support is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's my on my list for Christmas presents. Thank you for that one.
I'll just link it to you quickly. There you go.
Fantastic.
There's also a
Yeah.
thing you can get from Wild Earth. Talking to a mate of mine that went to Afghanistan, and it's a small cylinder thing about probably that big by about that round, and you can put any type of fuel in it. And so, you know, if you run out of fuel and you need to, I don't know, empty a car thing or something, you can put any type of fuel in it and use it, and it's got a hose that comes out that joins to a burner for you to be able to cook with. So I'll find out what it is, and because I'm planning on getting one on the weekend, so and let you know what brand it is and that and how good it is.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Thanks for that, Raquel. With the protective layers, so you need to scratch off the protective layers so you can use your magnesium rod. Simon just walked in the door and is showing us how to use it. Do you want to? Because I tried to use it and I couldn't get it to work. But there you go.
Okay. Ow.
I have to come off mute. So.
You do. You have to come off that thing as well.
Yes.
It's going to stuff me up.
There you go.
Better. Hey guys.
Hey, Simon.
Hey
There
guys.
you go.
So I have only managed to light tissue paper at the moment. I'm still working up to actually getting dried leaves or whatever to light at the moment. But yeah, I've got heaps of these. I've got one on my keyring now. I've got one in my fishing bag. I've got another one on another keyring. So we've always got something to light a fire just in case. But has everyone used one of these before?
No.
No.
Yep,
Oh yes.
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm getting my kids
Yes.
I'm getting my kids trained in how to use these as well to light the fires in our back garden as well. Yeah, we've also got the knife as well that obviously does this as well. But yeah, I just like playing with it, and I just find, you know, if you get a good straight down the line, yeah. Where is
See,
it?
yeah.
There you go.
Try 45 degrees.
Yeah, there you
45
go.
degree angles. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think they're awesome because they're cool. Because the amount of times I've gone camping and forgotten matches or a lighter or something like that, and then I've just got this every time now I need it. So pretty cool. I like that little gadget. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for showing us that.
You're welcome. Shall we put the fire out now?
Okay. Just having a look. Of course, your own personal gear. I always keep a toothbrush and toothpaste and a brand new one in there. And you know, you should always have your toiletries bag just in there ready to go. You don't want to be having to find your sunscreen and you know, whatever you need, your deodorant, they all should be in there.
Kelly, don't forget your hats.
Your hats and your first aid kit.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So they are all really necessary. I do like what you said about the sleeping gear. Super important. I think we have pretty well covered the most important things.
So about multiple uses.
I probably hatched up the multiple uses of the rope.
Okay.
But
So one of these really cool videos I watched, because we were all watching them anyway, is about having things that have multiple uses versus just one usage. So things like a heavy duty plastic bag, for instance, can be used to carry food. It can be used to carry clothing. It can be used to carry water. You know, you can cut a hole in the top of it and use it as a poncho. You know, so this guy was on about whatever you look to try and have things that have multiple uses. So maybe even, you know, if it was a hat, can you get a canvas hat that can actually filter water so that you could use that as a filtering device to take out the larger particles of water? So he was always on about whatever you can, have things that have multiple uses. So I'm always trying to think that way with stuff and go, okay, could I buy that? How many different uses does that have if I really need it to use it for this or this kind of thing? So that was one of the things that we're always thinking about is what's, you know, if you're going to have a, I don't know, toiletries bag, can that be a canvas bag? Because I know you can buy really good canvas bags that can actually filter water as well. So again, so you're carrying stuff in something that has a multiple use. So that same with that cord that Kelly showed you, that paracord. You can split that down. You can make it into fishing line if you need to. You can use it for stitching up a wound if you need to, because it's that fine. You know, so you've got multiple uses out of one thing, which is a really cool thing to do. So yeah,
save space.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'll fade in the background now.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording there, and if you're watching the recording, then you know, or if you're in the room, you know the fun really happens when we stop the recording. So thanks for watching, and